Tomorrow, the Supreme Court will hear a straight woman's reverse discrimination case. Marlene Ames is suing the Ohio Department of Youth Services after being denied a promotion and demoted in 2019. She says she had a gay supervisor at the time and was passed up for a promotion in favor of a gay woman and demoted in favor of a gay man, both of whom Ames says were less qualified than her. Joining me this morning to discuss this case is 9 News legal expert Whitney Traylor. Thanks for coming in.
Sure, a lot to talk about.
There really is.
Yeah.
I know we're trying to condense this into just a couple of minutes. So
Yes.
first, what is Marlene Ames asking the court to do here?
Well, it's kind of confusing, but essentially what she's doing is asking the court to change the standard for someone asserting a discrimination claim, because normally this is under Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, and so that has historically been for minorities who were discriminated against in employment because it was lawful, and companies were outright saying we're not going to hire, black employees, for example. And so here, this is a situation where you have somebody in the majority, in the sense that she's a straight woman claiming that, hey, I was discriminated against because I was straight. And so it's the standard in which you have to put your case forward. And so she's saying she lost at the trial court level and she lost at the appellate court level. And the court said, well, you have to, the way you prove your case, you have to include background circumstances. So in other words, you have to show that someone in the minority group, so let's say a gay person, made the decision, which wasn't the case here, or that the company had a pattern of discrimination against straight employees. And she's saying that burden is not the correct burden, so she's asking the Supreme Court to essentially change the way those cases are pled.
Could this open the floodgates for more lawsuits that are like this?
Yes, I think it would open the floodgates, and really because you have to look at it and you say, let's say it's a white employee who doesn't get a promotion over a black employee, and then that could open the gates and say, well, this was discrimination, even though there may only be one black employee in the whole department. So I think you would see a lot of cases like this if the court changes the standard. And I don't know what the court will do because there's a split in the circuits in terms of how lower courts have addressed these kind of cases. And it's unique because this is, as we're calling it, a reverse discrimination claim, because historically, and the courts actually said, it's an unusual case when an employer discriminates against the majority group.
Right. So what happens next, and when can we expect a decision in this? I mean, I know this is happening tomorrow, but what happens?
Right, so there's going to be oral arguments tomorrow, and the fact that the Supreme Court accepted the case is important and relevant in itself, because the Supreme Court only accepts a small number of cases. So there'll be oral argument tomorrow, and then there'll be a full decision probably by the end of the year or possibly the beginning of next year.
How is the Ohio Department of Youth Services defending itself here?
Well, I think they have a strong defense. They're saying two things. They're saying, one, we don't have a pattern of discrimination against straight employees, and you can look at their workforce, which is full of straight employees. And two, and I think this is probably the most important piece, is the decision makers were not gay. So when her supervisor, when she didn't get the promotion, and the decision makers were not, they were straight. So it would be a little incredible to say, oh, well, these straight employees these straight decision makers are trying to discriminate against other straight employees. That kind of flies in the face of logic in some ways.
Well, I have a feeling we'll be talking more about this. We know that there's the other one in Missouri with Starbucks as well. We almost talked about that one today, but the two cases are so different in so many ways. So that might be the topic when you come back in.
Okay, I'll be in on Thursday, so let's see.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Sure thing. Good to be here.
Chris.